Alright, let me just verify that I'm live on all the platforms. Alright, so first things first, let's go ahead and test out Rumble. Alright, so Rumble tells me that I'm live. Nice. Okay, that's my Rumble right there. I'm live, as you can see there. Beautiful. Okay, next, let's check YouTube. YouTube. Come on, YouTube. I should be live on the YouTube. Alright, so this is the YouTube right here. I am live, as you can see. Nice. There's our previous streams. Okay, cool. Alright, let's check Kick. What is Kick telling me yet? I should be live on the Kick. Kick. Let me see what's popping with the Kick. La. So I am live on the Kick as well. Okay, beautiful. Then let's check Twitch. I should be live on the Twitch too. Twitch. Come on, Twitch. I am live on the Twitch. Let me see here. Battery issue. 1 second, yeah. Alright, so I am live on Twitch. Nice. Well, D-Live is not default, so there's no need to check that. Let's check Odyssey. Should be live on Odyssey as well. Odyssey. What are you telling me today, Odyssey? Alright, so I am live on Odyssey as well. Beautiful. Okay, just for shits and giggles, let's go ahead and check D-Live. Although it is already defunct. Okay. Alright, D-Live service discontinued. Yep. Just as I expected. Why the fuck is this shit still loading, bruh? Why is this shit still loading, bruh? Stop loading, bruh. Alright. Hello, world. What's poppin'? Hello, well. What the fuck? Oh my gosh, bro. The fucking messaging plugin is already fucking up, bro. Are you serious now? Alright, so it's looking like we went through. What the hell was that? What the hell was that even, man? What's poppin'? Alright, so let's go ahead and get straight to it. So first things first, let's go ahead and watch / react to Beyond Dragon Ball Super Vegeta's War Amongst the Mightiest Gods, Goten versus Trunks versus Orange Piccolo. And the video is brought to us by Unreal Ent Gaming. Let's see, this video right here might be interesting even more. Vegeta and Ultra Vegeta get ready to fight. Shit.
So, you find yourself on the Unrelent Gaming channel. How fortunate for you. I, Lord Frieza, will spare your life as long as you subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for tons of exclusive content to early access media and much more. Do it now, or else.
Yeah, I love this intro.
Now, even though while I continue to further refine and help Goku improve upon his ability in being able to sustain and wield his angelic level of power for a far greater period of time than he was ever shown in being able to achieve before, I can't help but now begin to wonder on just what kind of training Lord Beerus is putting Vegeta through while remaining within the realm of the gods.
That's what we're about to find out.
As our story now continues, following the initial training session involving both Trunks, Goten, and Piccolo inside of the hyperbolic time chamber, with all three of them now having to be shown and having to battle against each other from within, to which it was only despite with the fact of having Ultimate Super Saiyan God Trunks be shown on the offensive and having to relentlessly be shown chasing down Ultimate Super Saiyan God Goten was when Trunks went on to then quickly address Goten by responding, "This is getting very annoying, Goten, because if I would have known that this would be on how you would react when facing off against me," Trunks says, "then I instead would have went and gone after you first instead of having to go after Piccolo, and so quit moving around so much and face me like a man, Goten," with Goten responding, "Well, maybe if you were just a little faster with your reaction timing, then maybe you wouldn't go and have such a difficult time in catching me throughout this battle, Trunks, or do you want for me to go and slow it down a little for you?" with Ultimate Super Saiyan God Trunks having to then respond, "You talk a mighty bold game for someone who continues to run away and avoid everything when you know that I'm stronger than you, Goten. And since you know this very fact, that is why you are afraid, because you know that you can't hold me. Then is that why I'm not afraid to go and get up close and personal with you, Trunks? Because the last time that I checked, I was never scared to challenge you, Trunks," with Trunks responding, "And the last time that I had checked, you were the one who had lost the last time that both you and I had competed within a tournament at the exact same time, and so don't ever go and forget about what happened on that very day, Goten. And even though a lot has changed since the days of when we had battled against each other when we were just little kids," Trunks continues, "I haven't went and forgotten about who it is that I am, Goten, and so now hurry it up and stand back up on your feet, because I'm not done." But then, it was suddenly just then now from out of nowhere, as Orange Piccolo was then shown in having to quickly make his presence known in swooping on in by kicking Trunks away before having to battle both Trunks and Goten at the same time, was when Piccolo went on to then quickly respond, "And this is exactly on why I always have to go and remind for the two of you to never go and let your guard down, even if you are under the impression that you are winning when in reality you are not. Because while Goten continues to remain far too trusting, you, on the other hand, Trunks, remain far too cocky even when it's for your very own good, but that's just the beginning of it," Piccolo says. And so instead of having to now go and remind one another on the battles to which the two of you had waged when you were mere children, Piccolo went on to then continue. You should instead be more fixated and worried about going and getting by with your training here against me, because I'm just getting started here, and so you'd better keep it together. With Trunks responding, well then just you wait until Goten and I were to go and show you our super secret techniques that him and I have been working on. Isn't that right, Goten? With Goten responding, that's right, and even though we still haven't had much time to go and practice and using them on anyone, we actually now figure who better than to go try them all out on than you, Pick. And that is exactly the attitude on why the two of you can never seem to go and get anything done all on your very own. Piccolo then proceeds upon being shown having to throw both Goten and Trunks into the distance, because even despite with your newly awakened god powers and having to now place the two of you within a completely different and far more capable level, the two of you still remain vastly more inexperienced than the rest of us, and that is why you are struggling, Orange Piccolo went on to then add. But while you are both still very much far better off than how you were before it was when we came inside of the hyperbolic time chamber, Piccolo continues, try not to go and let this go to your heads in allowing for the two of you to even think about using fusion this early on here against me, because you can forget it if you think that I'll go and allow for it to pass when we still have so much more that needs to go and be done here between us, Piccolo continues. But since we are already on the subject, Piccolo adds, before the two of you are to go and undergo the fusion technique, there is a secondary fusion idea that I wanted for the two of you to go and try now that all three of us are in here alone with nothing left to sidetrack, as Piccolo continues. And so now listen
that we haven't
closely.
seen before?
To which it was only all the while in the meantime when then having to go and venture on back within the realm of the gods and seeing as to how Master
because you know
Vegeta was still shown having to battle against Beerus alongside his fellow gods of destruction, to which it was only just upon the Champa having to now be shown speaking with E1 was when Champa went on to then quickly respond, I just don't get it, E1. Why is Vegeta so much more different than any of the other Saiyans whom I've witnessed come and go throughout the years, Champa questions, as it is infuriating to see him here just as much as it is to watch him battle against the other gods, because I want to know on what exactly is it that makes this Saiyan as special as he is demonstrating himself out there to be, with E1 responding, and you have to admit that whatever the reasoning is behind how or why Vegeta happens to be the way that he is, at the same time, you cannot go and deny that your brother Lord Beerus had done a pretty good job in having to go and bring the absolute best out of the Saiyan. E1 continues, because it's not very often where a mortal such as him is shown to be contending against gods of destruction like this Champa, but since I'm pretty sure that while Vegeta can only happen to go and maintain this level of destructive intensity for just enough time before he begins to deteriorate from the inside, and if there is one thing that I will go out of my way and say here, Champa, it's that Lord Beerus sure did happen to go and find himself the perfect protege, and so I'd be a little worried here if I were you, Champa. To which it was only moreover when having to take a look and seeing as to how Vegeta was shown and having to be shown driving Beerus further out as he was sent flying across the tournament stage courtesy of Vegeta's strike, was when Beerus went on to then slowly stand back up by responding, oh, this is absolutely ridiculous, and to think that if I had known prior that this would be the result of what Vegeta's god training would end up in being, like Beerus utters, then I never would have agreed in taking that Saiyan under my wing to begin with, but perhaps I shouldn't go and allow for my frustrations to go and get the better of my judgments, because how can I be mad when this was what I had expected, Beerus questions. And while it is infuriating beyond words to go and watch as my student has now come to go and surpass me, Beerus continues, I begrudgingly have to admit that I am also very proud to see on how far Vegeta has come since the early days of when I first trained him, for it is almost admirable in its sheer stubbornness, Beerus adds, but when given with how far Vegeta has come and seeing as to where he currently is, he has grown to not only go and adapt to the grueling punishments that have been delivered onto his mortal body by a way of improving upon his destructive durability, but with the amount of force that will ultimately be required to go and permanently ensure for this mortal's defeat to come with a guaranteed succession, and I am confident to say that there aren't going to be many who will go and come close enough in doing the necessary damage that is needed in order for the Saiyan to go and be put down for good. However, Beerus continues, continues. While I have no doubt that it will more than likely be Vegeta who will end up in having to be the one who will prevent me from advancing if I were to end up in having to face off against him within this upcoming tournament, Beerus continues, then given with what it is that I already know along with my experiences in dealing with it until the day finally comes when this tournament is set to finally begin, then I'd be lying if I said that I wouldn't go and be okay with having this be the outcome, because even if the scenario were to suddenly arrive where I would go and find myself in losing against Vegeta, Beerus continues, then I am still victorious by an extension of his victories as he advances, since Vegeta just so
That's the right mentality, Lord Beerus.
You're
You're supposed to be proud of your students, bro. You're supposed to be training your students to surpass you.
Facing the combined fury of the gods of destruction has now forced Vegeta to hone his ability to wield Hakai Essence at a level that I didn't think a mortal could ever go and possibly come to achieve this quickly, but not only did his physical prowess strengthen, but his mental fortitude has hardened as well, Beerus adds, almost as if there is something that is still allowing for him to stay alive long enough in order for him to adapt and overcome, but this too does not surprise me, Beerus continues, because while I still intend on going and putting Vegeta through far more than what he was shown in having to go through thus far, as the day of the Omni Kings tournament draws ever so closer by the day, even though Vegeta has grown to become far stronger when wielding this form than even I could have previously imagined for him to go and be, the sheer volume of destructive punishment has now left Vegeta's body in a critical state of rapid fatigue, Beerus continues, and with his back against the wall, just as I'm sure on how it's going to be during Lord Zeno's Omniversal Tournament event, you better not go and think about wavering just yet here, Vegeta, because I'm not done with you here, Saiyan. To which it was only more over when then having to go back and taking a look at seeing as to how Moltus Prime and Hawkins were continuously shown in having to oversee Vegeta's training session was when Moltus Prime went on to address Hawkins directly by then responding, "Do not look away, Hawkins, for his body has adapted to the destructive punishment caused by these rivaling gods of destruction.
Let's go,
As the
Vegeta!"
destructive absorption potency within Vegeta's very nature has allowed for him to grow now exponentially, Moltus Prime continues, as punishments that once lasted mere seconds now stretch into grueling minutes, and yet still he stands and still he pushes forward, Moltus continues, and because Vegeta deserves to face off against a far stronger and far more capable god of destruction than the ones that he is currently shown in having to fight against right now for this so-called omniversal training of his, then I want for you to go and prepare yourself as you will go and take charge in furthering this battle against him, Hawkins. However, be that as it may, do not go and underestimate what you see before you by any means if you expect to survive what most of your compatriots were not able to, Hawkins, for this is an extremely dangerous but yet very promising individual, Moltus Prime continues, as you are to go and exercise extreme measures to ensure that he is to go and get the most out of this before he is sent out on his venturous ways for Lord Zeno's upcoming Omniversal Tournament, and as Vegeta's power continues to exceed even the most fearsome gods of destruction and raw potential, Moltus Prime continues, I warn you, Hawkins, go and hold nothing back when you step into the arena here against him, and remember to hold nothing back at all, Moltus Prime says, because while you may indeed actually be far stronger than the gods of destruction which Vegeta currently faces off against right now, Moltus Prime continues, you cannot take the approach and be so sure to guarantee a victory so prematurely, especially not against an opponent of Vegeta's impressive magnitude, Hawkins. But while as powerful as Vegeta may in fact actually has come to be, it has become painfully clear that without this level of strength which he currently uses, Moltus Prime continues, he would be destroyed within a matter of moments, and that is what you will go and try to do, Moltus says, because while he has in fact actually went and earned the right to go and stand amongst the rest of us as an equal by all accounts, throughout my time as being one of the very first of our kind, I have watched gods fall to far lesser challenges while Vegeta continues to go and rise and adapt above them all, Moltus Prime says, and so because of this, you are to go and ready every ounce of your destructive capabilities in preparation for what is about to come, Hawkins, for you are to maintain your focus when facing him at all times, lest you are to go and warn for the Saiyan to seize those rightful opportunities and quickly having to go and turn them against you, Hawkins. And now that you're finally fully aware as to the gravity of the situation that awaits you, I expect for this battle to be quite different than the ones that Vegeta had been facing up until this very point in time right now, and so good luck, Hawkins. But it was only just upon with Beerus having to now overhear this as he went on to turn around and having to overhear his father mention the fact of having to include Hawkins was when Beerus went on to then quickly respond, "So, you are sending Lord Hawkus out to go and contend against Vegeta now, are you? Well, good," Beerus says, "because it's about time that we go and see on just how far Vegeta is capable of and having to fully be able to go and push himself. But even now, as it currently stands, I can assure that Lord Hawkus will soon come to find out on exactly why facing this Saiyan won't be as simple as even he might assume for this warrior to be." To which it was only all the while in the meantime, as God of Destruction Riccardi was then shown in having to quickly attempt to try to knee Vegeta, with Vegeta quickly being shown in having to block off Riccardi's attack, is when Riccardi went on to address Vegeta directly by then responding, "Damn you and that freakishly absurd transformation of yours, Vegeta! How is it that you have endured this much and yet somehow you still continue to stand? For this doesn't seem to make any sense, and so I demand to know as to why," with Vegeta responding, "Well, maybe you haven't went and realized it by now, but by comparison to what we are, you and I could never fight in representing the same exact thing ever, Destroyer. And so therefore, I would advise that it's best that you quit while you're slightly still ahead," Vegeta continues, "because this isn't going to end very well for you by the time that this is over," with Riccardi responding, "You're crazy, Vegeta, never! For I will never go and surrender to you, Saiyan, because I will go and continue to fight you until the very bitter end." But then, it was only just upon with Vegeta now suddenly being shown having to grab Riccardi's shoulders before having to be shown executing him with the tremendously powerful knee to the stomach was when Vegeta went on to then quickly address Riccardi by responding, "Well then, if you still aren't wise enough to realize the danger that is standing right in front of you, then perhaps I wasn't clear when I previously had went and introduced myself," Vegeta continues, "and since you are the most stubborn among the bunch who seems like they don't want to go and learn, then let this now go and serve as being the greatest reminder to you," Vegeta continues, "on why you are to never challenge me in battle lest you warrant in having to be completely destroyed," Vegeta continues upon being shown kneeing Riccardi in the stomach. "And since you merely thought that you had taken me out just when you had saw an opening in order for you to go and make your move against me," Vegeta continues, "then allow for me to go ahead and pay you back with what was that you had called it again," Vegeta sarcastically responds, "Oh, that's right, the Hand of Destruction!" To which it was only seconds after the fact, with the gigantic explosion being shown and having to now emanate from the top of the stage, with Vegeta being shown and having to be the last one remaining within the tournament stage, was when Vegeta went on to then quickly continue, "And down goes the last of them. Oh, this sensation, this overwhelming experience of both agony and aggression. It exhilarates me in ways that I cannot even yet begin to describe," Vegeta continues, "but while my body has been forged through the fires of the gods who have submerged me beneath the surface of absolute brutality, and I still continue to go and make my final stand as being the last remaining destroying warrior who is now left on the battlefield." But then, it was suddenly from out of nowhere within these very moments now, as God of Destruction
enters
Hawkus
the battle.
was shown having to make his way in before being shown having to strike Vegeta away, was when Hawkus went on to then address Vegeta directly by then having to quickly respond, "You have done well to safeguard yourself against what my fellow destroyers had attempted to go and use in order to try to subdue you," Hawkus went on to then suddenly interrupt by responding, "But now that I have entered into this direct conflict here against you as directed by the venerable Moltus Prime, while my fellow gods are to go and take this time to recuperate from your earlier defiance, I alone advance myself in direct opposition here against you," Hawkus continues, "as I will now be your primary opponents. But hear my warnings from this moment onwards, Vegeta," Hawkus continues, "because despite what the significant growth that you have forged through your unyielding Saiyan desire, which has led you down the path of both having to rival and even supersede the powers of a God of Destruction, this here will be as far as I will allow for you to go, because this will be where every leap within your power that has taken you above and beyond into the next levels will culminate in crushing defeat under the sheer weight of the vast experience and brutality that I carry alongside here with me, Vegeta," with Vegeta responding, "Oh, is that so? Well, you wouldn't be the first among your fellow tribe of gods to go ahead and try, but I should have anticipated that they would go and send you out here to directly battle here against me. However, prior to the contrary, God of destruction. And I was actually hoping that they would go and send you out here at some point, because now that you finally are, Vegeta continues, what do you say we go and break the tension here between us and go and find out on which one of us is truly worthy of being hailed as the superior destructive fighter here between us? Yes, as it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super
Oh
Legacy
my
of the
gosh,
Omniverse,
bro,
the
we gotta
official
wait
top
until
5
the next
strongest warriors in the
upload.
multiverse sequel,
Damn,
manga
bro.
chapter
That's
number
probably in
33
like
special, then
3 to 4
comes to a
days.
close.
Well,
Oh,
actually, I'll go
massively.
ahead and take it from here, as I do
Come
want to go as far as to address
Nonetheless,
something very
though, the shit was
important with our
pretty
dear
epic.
viewers at the moment. As before I
I
go and
loved
give
it.
you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing.
Yeah, y'all feel free to go ahead and drop a like at the Unreal Int Gaming channel, and let him know that you saw me reacting to his video. What the fuck, bro? The lightning dragon was really about to go out there. What the hell? Somebody names it Super Saiyan Paul. These keep getting more and more intense that I honestly can't get enough of it. Lol, I'm rooting for the boys to get a good shot at this, even though they both know they won't last very long. I agree with you, Paul. And this, yeah, man, this is indeed getting more and more intense. And yeah, man, I can't wait for the next. I can't wait for the next upload, man. All right. Yo, Vegeta finna be a menace at that tournament. Just believe that. Alright, so we'll go ahead and boot up some good old Metal Slug. Bum 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 ba-da-da. Do you miss mine? Nga, 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 nga. There were a girl on the side of nothing. Say that you would, but guess or something running out of time or something. Do you hurry on babe? Yeah. Tecmo World Soccer. That look like it might be something fun there. I ain't gonna lie to ya. Might be a fun game to try. Is there